How's it going, everyone? Tam here for Press Start, and I'm joined by Paul, Thomas, and John. And today on the discussion lounge, we're going to be talking about DLC and like general DLC practices of game companies and why there's such a stigma behind it when you mention it. So, I don't know. What are your general thoughts about DLC? Like, do you buy it when you get a game?
DLC is okay sometimes. I feel like it's more of a way just to get you to spend more money. It keeps you intrigued in the game as well because it offers like new levels or new characters or things like that, but it's like a way to just get you to spend money for content that's probably already on your disc.
Yeah.
I think DLC, it's generally pretty bad just because like they can suck every penny out of you that they can. But it's also good in a sense that there have been some games that weren't so good before their DLC. Like, I'm not gonna bash it, but Civ 5, like I wasn't really, when it first came out, I wasn't really into it that much, and then like Gods and Kings came out and I was like, oh, they're adding new, when they add new elements to the game, I think it's a useful tool because you can extend the life of the game.
Well, when it comes to DLC, I mean, it's a love-hate relationship, and mainly like
It's like a bad married couple with you.
it's like but it's a matter who does it though. My preference because a developer can do it a lot better than I am, of course. So I mean, that's basically my view of it. So it depends who does it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of feel DLC, like, you remember, like, back in the era I guess, not last gen, but pre-last gen. Like, there'd be games, like, I'm going to bring up an example, like maybe Devil May Cry, for example. If you finish the game, you can unlock more costumes, you can unlock more characters to use, like, when you play on a certain difficulty or something. Whereas nowadays, I feel like with the newest DMC, costumes and extra characters, like, you have to buy it now. You have to buy it now. Whereas, like, back in the day, you had to figure it out yourself or look it up on the internet how to unlock all that stuff, and, it wasn't a penny out of their pocket at all. So
Buy it once and you're done.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm glad, like, games like Smash Bros, where you start with a starting roster and then, like, you have to unlock all the characters. Like, I'm so glad they're not going the DLC route where, you start with a starting roster of, like, maybe 12 characters, and then you have to, like, buy the rest for $5. So how do you guys feel about, like, things like pre-order bonuses?
It's a way to get you to buy the game early just so they had the money.
It's because, like, I feel like games are more expensive to make nowadays, so they need a way, instead of, like, putting up the retail price from like $60 to $80 or something.
That's true.
Because
I did that with like the new Grand Theft Auto. I bought the $80 collector's edition because it came with like guns, cars, and something else in it.
Bunch of doohickeys.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, it's so cool, but like,
But now it's pretty.
Yeah, when you look back, you're like, was it really worth it? Right. I mean, but if it's like DLC that's included within like the actual retail price and stuff like that, that's not too bad. Because I remember when I pre-ordered Call of Duty Black Ops, it came with the Nuketown map right in the price. So I mean, that wasn't so bad. I mean, if they can do that, I'm fine with that.
Well, the thing about that is, I feel like they already made the content, so why separate it from the main game? Like, it's like I don't have 100% of like the full game there. It's like I'm buying 95% of it.
Yeah, it feels like you're just buying like a puzzle piece of the game, and like, I don't know, like, I know Elder Scrolls Online is coming out, and they're doing that.
Isn't it just a subscription fee though?
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole. That's a whole.
No, they have like a second edition, like with extra content.
All right. Oh, I know that, like, yeah, you have to like actually buy like one of the races.
Or
something. Yeah.
And like, why do you shut off that entire race in the game just for DLC?
Yeah. It is. I honestly, going back to what I said before, I honestly do think it's because like higher production costs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They have to find a way,
especially running with like an online game and keeping servers and whatnot up. It costs a lot of money. So.
And they know like the true fanatics are gonna want to get it. So
that's the thing. Yeah, like they know people are gonna buy them in droves because if you, I think if you're,
someone always wants the top level of something,
Yeah, I think if your game is like good enough to constitute DLC, like go for it, Borderlands, I know they do DLC pretty well in my opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas like the vanilla game is already like really cool and really long. But when you're done with the game, you can always just buy DLC to enhance your experience, you know?
That way you can feel satisfied with another monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so DLC isn't all evil.
Yeah.
It's not evil until you realize you spent $60 more to buy 2 new games.
Like, have you ever like regretted buying DLC before?
Oh yes.
I have. Call of Duty boards sometimes.
Well, yeah. There's sometimes with Call of Duty, yeah. But the one, like the last Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, I bought the Zombies map pack. What's the prison they were at? I can't remember. But that one where you play the mob and stuff like that, I really liked that one. But another one I was actually satisfied with was Red Dead, Undead Nightmare.
Oh yeah,
really
that
good.
one,
It was like quality. So it goes back to like depends who does it. You know, it's just like that's based on if you're gonna buy it.
Yeah. How about you, Paul? Like any buyer's remorse?
I honestly, I don't really buy DLC because I'm really cheap.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Being a cheap gamer.
Yeah. I mean, so I haven't made any regretful decisions because I just, I'm on Steam a lot, so like I usually don't buy DLC because I'll just like mod something. But it has to be reasonable.
That's
like
the mindset
if it adds like a new feature to the game or just like it's something worth paying for it. Then go out and buy it.
That's
like Dead or Alive and extra bikini costumes, right? No, but actually, mentioning fighting games, I remember a statement made by the Tekken creator, and he said that for all fighting games in general, you should never have to pay for extra characters because that's like part of the experience. You need those characters to like play the game, to know matchups and stuff.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have to pay for that. What you should have to pay for is like extra bells and whistles like costumes and things like that. So I actually agree with that. So that's why Capcom gets a lot of flack a lot of the times with their DLC practice. Like I remember Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Does anyone remember that? Like there's you never played it, but like there was already content on the disc. Like data miners found it and they were able to play as it. But so they literally made it, put it on the disc, and then was like, okay, so this is 100% of the game. We're gonna cut it by 25% because they were like, I think it was 12 new characters that they just were on the disc but you couldn't access.
See, that's just evil.
It is evil.
Yeah.
So close.
They've been getting a lot of flack for that, and I think there's still like a giant stain on their reputation. But let's look at the other end of the spectrum, like good aspects of DLC. I think we already touched upon it before, but do you guys have any other examples of really good DLC that really enhances the experience? Because off the top of my head, I'm thinking of BioShock Infinite right now.
That's exactly what I was just thinking of. Yeah, the good closure for that. I still want to play it. I'm playing Infinite right now, and it's, I'm just like, I want to play it Burial Sea to see how it, it all wraps up. Because it's such a great. Not to get off topic, but
Go for it.
I remember reading a story. Cliffy B. He posted saying that he would rather pay $100 for a game with all the DLC in it, right from the launch, instead of paying $60 to buy the game and then pay for the DLC after. What would you guys? What's your opinion?
Well, I know a lot of developers will later on they'll release a Game of the Year edition or the Ultimate edition, which every time I see a game with all these DLC choices, I'm like, I can just wait for it a few months later for them to release it. Like Watch Dogs, they're already announcing all this DLC, all these pre-order bonuses and all this day one DLC things. So I'm just like, why not just wait until they release the Watch Dogs Complete Edition, But I guess they do feast on gamer hype, I feel. When people get so hyped up for games that they want to play it as soon as possible.
Like launch.
That's how it was for Assassin's Creed. It was like, I'm gonna pre-order Assassin's Creed. I get this cool pistol in this pre-order.
And then you feel obligated to use it because you bought it, right? That's how I am with fighting games. If I buy a costume, I'm like, I have to use it because I bought it.
Then you're like, I have to use it,
Yeah, it is kind of a knife in your heart there,
But I mean, I like when DLC, when they add new chapters to a story,
That's about the only time I like it.
I mean, I've got to play Skyrim for you could always keep playing Skyrim, but when they came out with Dawn Guard and stuff like that, I was like,
that was completely new content, right? You make a house and.
That was think it was.
That wasn't Dawn Guard, but it was.
It's like Hearthfire, so I don't know.
Yeah, you could get married and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there was like this whole like side quest. I was like, oh great, like I get to not do the standard routine thing that I always.
Yeah. It's basically like I like to think of those types of DLCs as like old school expansion packs. You remember those like StarCraft, and then you had StarCraft Brood War. Or Worldcraft and all of their expansions. I'd like to think of those as like, they're labeled as DLC nowadays, but then you have like, I think there's like different types of DLC. So you have like your microtransactions where it's like, get a new skin for your gun and make it look purple and pink and unicorns and stuff. Or like, and then you have like, the extra episodes in a game like Burial at Sea, where it's like an expansion pack, and how much was?
I think the first episode was, I don't forget how much it was, but like, it was so much shorter than the second episode of it, though.
Yeah.
But like, you can do a season pass for that for like $20.
What is season pass? Like, I honestly
isn't season pass where like you pay for it up front and then you get reduced prices when you buy it?
No, actually,
it's go ahead.
No, I thought it was just like you buy the season pass and then you just download, whatever, and then like for Call of Duty example, like if a new map comes out, you might automatically get it, every time they come out with a DLC.
It's like you're putting your trust in the developer, being like, I'm giving you my money up front, and I'm expecting good content to come in. Because I remember Injustice had a season pass, like a season, I think they had 2 seasons actually, but season 1 was like, they had 4 characters, but the season pass buyers had no idea who they were buying. But
see, I'd have to be like, I have to really love a game. So like, I'm gonna like put an investment in it.
Because like when I played Injustice, I didn't get the season pass, but like a lot of people were ticked who bought the season pass because Scorpion's not a DC character; he's a Mortal Kombat character, right? So people were really ticked that they spent their money for the season pass, thinking that they were only going to get DC characters or DC superheroes and supervillains, but instead they get like a dude from Mortal Kombat. So yeah, there was a lot of rants written on the internet about that.
I can never do a season pass because I'm too picky. Like, if I look at the season, like I have to look what's coming out, or I'll be like, I don't want that. And, what's the point in doing that?
You want to like pick and choose.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, any final thoughts? The D to the L to the C.
Sometimes I feel like it's a way to just push your game out earlier. Like you can release your game and you might not have everything.
And then
complete.
You can still be.
Yeah, you might have glitches or patches and.
See, patches I'm okay with because that fixes the game,
Yeah.
But then it also shows like, the little dirty marks on your game, like saying that I rushed it out as quick as I could, and now here's some patches.
Yeah.
To fix it.
Undercooked.
Yeah, undercooked games. Right? Well, that's all for us. What do you guys think? Let us know on our Facebook or Twitter pages or in the comments below. But for Tom, John, Paul, and I, this has been the Press Start Discussion Lounge. See you later.